Good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Wednesday, July 28th, 2021. At our top story today, getting down the basics, we're going to talk about the different annuity types. And joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Tom Hegna is a senior education advisor with the Alliance for Lifetime Income. Tom, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
It is great to be with you.
Yeah, you're a wealth of information, pun intended there. But we're going to devote this show to the building blocks, talking about different types of annuity products that are out there. So I'm just going to pitch it to you, Tommy. First question: what are some of the annuity products, and what are some of the key differences there?
Yeah, so, annuities can be confusing to some people, but an annuity is simply a contract between you and an insurance company. And there's really just two basic types of annuities. There's immediate annuities, some people call them income annuities, and deferred annuities. Now, immediate or income annuities, they have one job, and that's to provide income. They can provide it for a period of time, or they can provide it for your lifetime or for multiple lifetimes if you're married or if you want to do it grandparent, grandchild. But it guarantees you a paycheck as long as you're alive. Now, most income annuities traditionally were called single premium immediate annuities, and they started within 12 months. Now there's a whole nother set of annuities called deferred income annuities, and that's a single premium immediate annuity that you and I can buy, and we can buy it today. And it doesn't have to start for up to 40 or even 50 years. And so the longer you wait to start the income, the higher that guaranteed payout rate. Now, in the deferred annuity space, there's basically three types. There's variable annuities, there's fixed indexed annuities, and then there's just basic fixed annuities. A fixed annuity just earns an interest rate. It's very similar to a CD that you buy at a bank, but it's not FDIC insured. But every day it's worth more than it was the day before. It earns a fixed rate of return. A variable annuity on the other side is in the market. It's in a set of mutual funds. They're called separate accounts inside of a variable annuity. But those things can go up 30, 40, 50%, but they can also go down 30, 40, 50%. But while they're growing, they grow tax deferred. And in between the fixed and the variable is something called a fixed indexed annuity. And that is one where you get some amount of upside with the market, but you're guaranteed never to lose. And so really, I think it's so important to work with a financial professional because they can assess what is best for you and make a recommendation that would best fit your needs.
Tom, I want to kind of take a step back, and thanks for laying that out. Let's talk about how these products have evolved, at least over the last 5 to 10 years, because this is not your father, grandfather, great-grandfather's annuity product. These products have really evolved first in complexity and type, but also in providing transparency and additional really important information for the buyer, the contract holder.
Yeah, and there have been so many changes. So, 10 years ago, you couldn't buy one of those deferred income annuities. They didn't really exist. I mean, one or two companies might have had them, but they weren't broad-based. In the fixed indexed annuity world, there's all different kinds of indexes. Now, some have uncapped strategies, so there's not a cap of like 4% or 5%. Some are uncapped. And of course, the index itself is more of a diversified index, but that was never available before. In the variable annuity space, there's some new variable annuities called registered index linked annuities, RILAs, and those don't have fees. So the big knock on variable annuities is that the fees are too high. Well, they came out with these registered index linked annuities that can be no fee products. They're also guaranteed income benefit riders, guaranteed withdrawal benefit riders, guaranteed cash value riders that weren't available maybe 10 years ago as well.
Yeah, certainly an improvement. And look, product manufacturers like insurance companies are listening to customers, and they're seeing what they want and taking that pulse and applying it to new products. Tom, I think you talked a little bit about this before, but I want to drill down on the types of investment options. You mentioned variable annuities, but what types of investment options, if I'm an annuitant or someone looking to buy an annuity, that I might be able to invest in?
Yeah, so a variable annuity has many different funds available. And among all the different companies that are out there, there are literally thousands of sub-accounts. And I mean, everything from, small cap stocks, mid cap stocks, large cap stocks, value stocks, growth stocks, emerging market funds, natural resource funds. There's bonds, there's short-term bonds, long-term bonds, government bonds, high yield bonds. Almost anything you can get in the mutual fund world, you can find in a variable annuity. But here's what a lot of people don't know. Last year, there were hundreds of variable annuity sub-accounts that were up over 20 and 30% after fees. And see, I don't sell annuities. I don't get compensated on the sale of any annuities, but I own 11 of them. And if these were bad products, if these were stupid products, I wouldn't own any of them. And I don't think I'm any different than many of your listeners. You know what I want to do with my money? I want to make as much as I can make. If I can make 10%, 20%, 30%, I want to make as much as I can make. But just as important, no, for me, more important, I don't want to lose what I've already got. Well, mutual funds and ETFs can't do that for me, okay? But a variable annuity with one of those income benefit guarantees or cash value guarantees or withdrawal benefit guarantees that, I'll get participation in the upside of the market, but if the market crashes, I'm not going to lose all my money. I've got either an income guarantee or a withdrawal guarantee or a cash value guarantee. And those guarantees matter to me as somebody who is entering retirement myself.
Yeah, really, really good input there, Tom. Tom, I want to, you also touched on this, but I want to drill down also on the tax advantages. There are ways to defer taxation today and in the future because you're investing in an annuity or annuity-like product.
Absolutely. Tax deferral is one of the biggest benefits of deferred annuities, that as the money's growing, you don't pay any taxes. So imagine if last year you were in one of those sub accounts and it did 30%, and then you sold out of that and you bought another one, and over time it did another 30%, and you just kept doing that over a 30 or 40 year period. Not having to pay taxes on all that growth is a significant advantage. Another thing is people don't realize you can get tax-free income from annuities. I've converted most of my IRAs and 401ks to Roth IRAs, and I put them into income annuities, and now I'm guaranteed to have tax-free income for the rest of my life. Understand that I paid my taxes when I did the conversion, so it's not like there's no taxes, but I believe these are the lowest tax rates I'm likely to see for the rest of my life, so I paid those taxes. Now I'm going to get tax-free income for the rest of my life, and I think that's going to be very important.
Tom, last question for this segment. What happens if I'm an annuitant, I hold the contract, but I pass away? Does that money just go back to the insurance company or the annuity contract guarantor? No. Or can I pass that on to my heirs, my beautiful wife?
Absolutely, you can pass it on to yours. So let's take them both separate. The deferred annuity. So a deferred annuity is growing, and while it's growing, it grows tax deferred. If you die, that money would go 100% of it would go to your named beneficiaries. Okay. Now on an income annuity, if you're getting a paycheck for the rest of your life, you need to pick up front what type of death benefit option. Do you want it to pay for you and your spouse as long as either one of you is alive? You could do with you and your granddaughter and pay as long as either one of you is alive. Or do you want to get a paycheck, but when you die, you want the money that hasn't been paid to you to go to your family in a lump sum? There's many different death benefit options, and you get to pick that up front. But even in the case where people think the insurance company keeps the money, that's not true. If you do pick life only, that's the highest payout rate on an income annuity, and you die, the insurance company doesn't keep the money. It goes to the other people that pick life only that live. That's why the payout rate is so much higher. So there's a lot of misunderstandings around that too.
Yeah, well, hopefully people are listening, paying attention, reading about this. Education's a really big part of any financial plan. Tom, I need to take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Tom about where you can get access to annuity products. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM.
You need a financial plan that fits the way you want to live in retirement. A plan that can help grow and protect your money, now or in the future. With an annuity in your plan to help cover essential expenses, you'll have the freedom to live the retirement you want. This is what an annuity can do. Find the right financial professional to show you how. Learn more at protectedincome.org.
Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms? Especially for the smaller businesses. I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you stuck with a low credit score? A credit report and score that's causing you to be denied credit or pay higher interest rates than others for the same things? Then do what Terrence did and call Credit Repaired for your free credit evaluation to help restore your credit.
I started thinking about buying a new house, and my score wasn't where I needed it to be. I called and spoke with one of the representatives, and we just had a good conversation, and I liked what he was saying.
Just one call for his free credit evaluation was all it took to start back on the track to repairing his credit.
I'm seeing the deletions and I'm getting the report, so I know something's being done. It does make a difference to me.
All it takes is one call to get started.
Credit Repair has given me a second chance to have a better credit score.
Don't let a low credit score hold you back another day. Do what Terrence did and make the call for your free credit evaluation.
Call 800-819-4152. That's 800-819-4152. Again, 800-819-4152.
Welcome back. We're talking to Tom Hegna of the Alliance for Lifetime Income. Tom, thanks so much for staying with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, really enjoyed the first segment, and I think we re-educated. I know I was re-educated about annuities. I think a lot of folks out there re-educated. Let's talk about gaining access to these types of products because people may have some misunderstanding about where they can go to understand and get information and also purchase these types of products.
Well, I think it's so important to work with a financial professional. Look, I don't think most people do their own dental work in their garage with their drill set, and I don't think they ought to be doing their own retirement planning either. I think people who do their own retirement planning have too many blind spots. What happens if they live a long life? What happens if the market crashes 50%? What happens if your taxes go up 50%? What happens if inflation goes to 5 or 10%? What happens if you need long-term care? What happens if you die? What's all of those blind spots going to do to your retirement? And a financial professional is there to help make sure those blind spots are covered.
And Tom, is it typical for someone, you mentioned you have 11 annuities in your own personal portfolio. Do you need to move all of your money to an annuity, or can it just be a percentage, small percentage, leave some somewhere else and move some to an annuity?
Yeah, I don't know of any company that let you put all of your money in an annuity, but that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is you should put a portion of your retirement portfolio into an annuity. That's what the research shows. It's not my opinion. That's the leading PhDs in the world who study retirement. Dr. David Babel of Wharton, Dr. Moshe Milevsky of Toronto, Dr. Menachem Yari of Israel, Dr. Michael Finke, Dr. Wade Pfau, Dr. Robert C. Merton, Nobel Prize winner. That's what they say, that as a minimum, you should cover your basic living expenses in retirement with guaranteed lifetime income. So you really just want to figure out how much do you need to cover your housing, your food, your clothing, your car insurance, all of your normal bills. That should be covered with guaranteed lifetime income. Social Security counts because it's a lifetime income annuity. It's a guaranteed paycheck for life. A pension counts because it's a lifetime income annuity. It's a guaranteed paycheck for life. But whatever you're short, That's where the annuity fits, to at least cover those basic living expenses. And I think if we learned anything from COVID, we learned how important that was, that things can happen that we don't anticipate. And people said, oh, I got real estate. Well, yeah, that's great. I love real estate. But what do you do when you're a landlord and renters aren't paying rent and you can't evict them? What are you doing with laddered bonds when the 10-year treasury is at 1.4%? There just aren't a lot of alternatives. And that's why the PhDs say you should at least cover those basic living expenses in retirement with guaranteed lifetime income.
Tom, we laid out the different types of annuity products, a lot of new annuity products. When you buy annuity products, can you buy all different types and kind of ladder them like you would ladder bonds? So you'd have a fixed annuity, you'd have a variable annuity, maybe a RILA. Is that typically how a financial professional puts together kind of that patchwork quilt, if you will, of annuity and financial planning?
Yeah, so that's what I do. I have 3 variable annuities because I want to make as much as I can make, but I don't want to lose what I've already got. That's what the variable annuity is for me. I own 3 fixed indexed annuities because there's a real smart PhD by the name of Roger Ibbotson who did a study where he studied people who had a 60% stock portfolio, 40% bond portfolio versus people who had a 60% stock portfolio, 40% indexed annuity portfolio. And he found that the second portfolio outperformed the first portfolio for the last 40 years and is likely to do so for the next 40 years. So even if people just move their bonds into an annuity, they would likely do better. And then I own multiple income annuities. And as you said, I've laddered them. So I have some that start when I turn age 60. I have some that start when I turn 62, some that's 65, some at age 70. So I am guaranteed to have increasing income for the rest of my life. And a number of those are Roths. So it'll be increasing tax-free income for the rest of my life.
Well, Tom, I hate to bring up a sore point, but I want to talk about, there's cost, and some of these products have fees. Are there fees associated with any of these types of products? And how do you figure out what you're paying and go through that cost-benefit analysis?
Sure. So the big hit on annuities is everybody thinks the fees are high. Well, in fact, most annuities are not even fee products. They're called spread products. So, for example, a single premium immediate annuity is not a fee product. If you're guaranteed $2,000 a month for the rest of your life, that's exactly what you're going to get. A deferred income annuity is not a fee product. If you're guaranteed $2,000 a month for the rest of your life, that's exactly what you're going to get. A fixed annuity is not a fee product. A base fixed indexed annuity is not a fee product. There's really only 2 types of annuities that have fees. Variable annuities have fees, and some optional riders have fees. But that doesn't mean they're bad. It means you have to weigh out what is the fee versus what is the guarantee. I own 3 variable annuities. The fees are higher in a variable annuity. Why do I do it? Because I don't want to lose what I've already got. See, I want to make as much as I can make, but I don't want to lose what I've already got. And that's why I use the variable annuity. That guarantee is very important to me as a very soon to be retired person. I'm not just talking the talk, I'm walking the walk, and I don't want to lose my money.
Yeah. And you bring up that guarantee. Let's talk about that, because you're right. That is an essential difference between this and another investment vehicle like a mutual fund or exchange traded fund, ETF. Let's talk about that guarantee. That guarantee is provided by an insurance company or insurance companies, oftentimes in some products. Does the financial advisor with whom I'm working, will he or she be monitoring that insurance company? It's very unlikely that insurance company could fail or would fail, but who monitors that, the credit ratings, all those types of underlying data to make sure that that guarantee is going to be there when I retire?
Yeah, I mean, if you're with an insurance professional who's been there for many years, they would be doing that. But I would never just put that on your advisor. I would say you want to follow that, and you'll get an annual report every year from that insurance company. If you buy an annuity, you're going to get an annual report. You can just look at that and see what the ratings from S&P and Moody's and Best and Fitch and what the ratings are. I do say in my books, not all insurance companies are created equal. Financial ratings do matter. Financial strength does matter. But having said all of that, most states also have a fund that helps protect if an insurance company went under. And in the past, when any insurance company went under, another company came in there and took over the business. And so, especially on income annuities, because income annuities, the reserve requirements are so high that I think that is among the very safest places that people can be, again, because the reserve requirements of those income annuities.
Tom, last question. Where can I go, or where can the audience go to get some basic information about what we've talked about today, annuities, and get that unbiased, independent information?
The Alliance for Lifetime Income is an outstanding source for that. You just go to protectedincome.org, protectedincome.org. There's all kinds of booklets, brochures, articles that have been written. There's video clips. It's an incredible resource. So I would encourage your viewers to go to protectedincome.org and just look around.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, always a pleasure chatting with you. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you and the Alliance back on the program again very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Great to see you. Thanks for sharing your perspective. That wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the information in retirement, markets, technology, personal finance, so much more, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. We're back again tomorrow, so until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
Are you being audited, and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 800-224-6439.